Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our graduates, to their families, friends, mentors who are joining us here in RISA Commons or watching the live stream. I'm very delighted to welcome you to this special celebration of our Gephardt Institute Changemakers. My name is Stephanie Kurtzman, and I'm honored to serve as Executive Director of the Gephardt Institute for Civic and Community Engagement. And tonight we're celebrating graduates in the class of 2026 who have made a deep and enduring commitment to civic leadership, to leading change that improves people's lives, and to solving public challenges. The graduates we celebrate today represent 79 students who have earned the distinction of being a Gephardt Institute Changemaker. They've participated in one or more of the Gephardt Institute's selective leadership programs. They are St. Louis Fellows, Civic Fellows, WashU Votes, Executive Board members, our student staff, and Student Advisory Council members. Graduates, we applaud the commitment you have made to be informed and actively engaged citizens, not just during your time at WashU, but throughout your lives. Not just in word, but in practice. Not periodically at the ballot box, but in everyday life as you live, work, and lead with a deep sense of civic responsibility to the people and the communities around you. And not just environments where people agree with each other, but in our messy democracy that requires us to listen, to consider perspectives different than our own, to recognize each other's humanity, to compromise, and chart a path forward together toward a more perfect union. And not just when the changes in society that you want to bring about come easy, but especially when those changes are difficult to achieve. You've chosen to pursue a life of civic leadership and impact. You've brought your civic learning to bear on entrenched and troubling challenges facing our society. You've built connections and trust with each other and with community partners to move mission-critical work forward that improves the human condition. Collectively, you've charted your next steps toward a wide range of careers, understanding that civic leaders are needed in every industry and that your impact extends beyond your career into the civic commitments you weave into your life. Graduates, take a minute to look up around this room and also imagine the people in your lives who are watching the live stream. Everybody in this room is part of the community that has believed in you, supported you, taught you, mentored you, and collaborated with you to help you arrive at this moment of celebration and civic commitment. Your parents, guardians, family, friends, community partners, instructors, advisors, and our Gephardt Institute staff. So this is a time you can stand up, turn around, see them, and applaud them. It's now my honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Leroy Nunnery, who I've had the privilege to know for over 10 years and who has been a longstanding champion of the Gephardt Institute. Dr. Nunnery brings more than 4 decades of leadership across higher education, public education, family business, entrepreneurship, and corporate banking. His career has tremendous breadth with a consistency of purpose behind it. Across sectors, his work has focused on expanding opportunity and building shared prosperity. He's spent his career asking how institutions can create stronger pathways to success and ensure that growth benefits more people and more communities. As the founder of Plus Ultra, Dr. Nunnery has advised organizations on transformation, governance, and talent development. His approach challenges organizations to think not only about performance, but about who has access to opportunity and how systems can better support long-term success for individuals and communities. He has also helped shape national conversations about access and opportunity in the insurance and financial sectors. His research on the experiences of African-American professionals in insurance has become an industry standard. It offers both a clear understanding of historic barriers and a practical roadmap for building stronger, more inclusive talent pipelines. Dr. Nunnery has played a key role in large-scale community and economic development efforts. His work has connected institutional investment to local communities in ways that supported minority and women-owned businesses, workforce development, and neighborhood growth. He earned his bachelor's degree in history from Lafayette College, his MBA from WashU, and his doctorate in education from the University of Pennsylvania. Throughout his career, he has moved across sectors with intention, recognizing that business, education, and community development are deeply connected. His leadership reflects the belief that meaningful change happens when these systems work together. Dr. Nunnery's career offers an important reminder to all of us that civic engagement does not live in just one space or a single industry. It shows up in the choices we make, the systems we influence, and the opportunities we help create for others. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Leroy Nunnery.
Good evening. Oh, come on, y'all. I came all the way here from Philly. Good evening. That's what I want to hear. I'm glad to see all of you here. It's particularly thrilled to be here because on a glorious day like this, my flight got here early, which is in and of itself an accomplishment. So this has got to be a special day. I have the deepest respect, regard, and love for Bob Virgil, who was dean of the Olin School of Business when I was an MBA student in the late 70s. And it's hard to realize that almost 50 years ago, I was a student trekking across campus, and I saw in Olin this guy walking down the hallway striding with confidence and command and empathy. And I always admired that, Bob. I always admired that, the way he could organize and motivate people with a very straightforward and very focused approach. And I've tried to emulate that. In my own humble way, I've tried to make sure that those who were in front of me understood that I got them and that I could pass that on. And I know that you lost Jerry not too long ago, and we share that sense of loss. As you know, I lost my first wife about 25 years ago. What I also know is that nothing can fill that hole. But I do also know that so many people love you and really care about you. And I want you to know, my friend, that you can always count on me to do the same. I love you dearly. You know, folks, it's because of Bob Virgil. If you've not met him, I want you, especially those of you who are graduating, to at least, talk to him, get to know who he is. He introduced me to the Gephardt Institute several years ago. So it was a way for me to get more involved in WashU as an alum. And at first I was like, I don't know, the Gephardt Institute, it's in St. Louis, I live in Philly. Well, because of our indelible and inspired connection, I said yes, and I'm glad that I did. And I've also gotten a really good chance to work with Stephanie Kurtzman. Please give Stephanie and her team a round of applause. Now that almost 180,000 hours of community engagement have been accomplished, it's clear that Representative Gephardt's ideas about an institute with a mission and strategy like this were on point from the very start. Creating a platform and a space for people who look different, look around the room. Just take a look around the room. To me, this is different than what I may ordinarily see. So you may look different. You are different gender types, race and religion, or economic circumstances, and yet you come together to engage with respective communities and societies to make it better. That's what Dick Gephardt had in mind all along. It gives everybody equity, and it gives us a way to affect as many people as possible for the broader good. So from Bridge Bread to POA communities to the Black Rep to Alzheimer's Association, what's happened because of Gephardt is nothing short of amazing. And Bob, I'm not sure if this is what you saw as the future of the Institute, but wow, this is exactly what America needs right now. You all are exactly what this country needs right now. So at a time when talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion is forbidden and restricted, and oh my God, my hair's on fire, the Gephardt Institute continues to do its work. I think you understand, folks, that DEI is not the issue. Mediocrity and a lack of courage, those are the issues. And anytime anybody gets canceled, left or right, there's no residual benefit to society. We need everybody involved and woke, not for political reasons, but because bumping around with your eyes closed doesn't make anything better. Graduates, like all commencement speakers, I have some things to say that are going to be, I hope, relevant. And I know you're going to get a lot of well wishes and hopefully some money and congratulations. And you're likely to hear very similar words, i.e., people will tell you to stay positive. They'll tell you to set a vision. They'll tell you to strive for your goals and to step out into the world with confidence. And I'll do some of that. But I also want to be real with you. I could be cynical and say to you that it's up to you to make things better because my work is done. My retirement plan, at least as I checked this afternoon, is intact. My kids have graduated from college without any debt. I got 2 grandbabies. I did my job. I did exactly what I was supposed to do. But deep down inside, in my soul, I realized that cynicism would do nothing for me. And that's why I'm here. Because in spite of all the nonsense and the noise, I implore you to be like Bob Virgil or Stephanie Kurtzman and plow ahead. Celebrate for a little bit, go out and have a good time. It's a glorious day. But then get back to work. Find causes that are going to not only empower you, but empower others. Your sense of community is going to change as soon as you graduate from here. And I dare say that the communities you belong to today will shift and morph as you go along. There are people unknown to you who will become part of your networks, and some sitting right next to you who you'll probably forget. That's natural, and that's expected. I know somebody say, I'll never forget you. Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll take a bet on that and see how that goes. But I've been finding as I age gracefully that I've revived relationships with folks I used to go to school with or work with. And those moments have been really precious, filled with lots of emotion. And do you remember those kind of statements? And when you talk to aging folks, the do you remembers often get a little fuzzy because people start filling them with fables and mythologies and that kind of stuff, depending on who's doing the remembering. And so right now, I'm actually trying to capture as many of those moments as possible, every exchange, every moment that I can savor and record it so that I can recall it at a moment's notice. Because honestly, I may not have another chance to see that person again. And I'm at that stage in life, and some of you may be as well, where you're losing some of the people who you have made contact with and have been friends or associates. So as much as you can celebrate in this moment, keep your eyes open to what and who is likely to come into your lives. Now, I recently launched a podcast with a good friend of mine, Jeff Gallimore, called The Next Move Playbook. The Next Move Playbook. The Next Move Playbook. You can follow us on YouTube, Substack, LinkedIn, Instagram. It's pretty cool stuff, especially for old guys. I mean, I'm like, Instagram. Okay, I get it. We'll be focusing on careers and professional and personal growth, learning how and leaning on how our audiences can leverage their strengths to make progress. And one of the topics we're talking about is VUCA, V-U-C-A, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Because depending on what your background is, either of those terms feels kind of natural. As a Black man born in the 1950s and growing up in the 60s and 70s, I had one set of expectations that there was always going to be a struggle for equality and equity, but then even in a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world, I felt that deep down, one day we will overcome, to paraphrase the iconic civil rights song. And that feeling is what propelled me to come to WashU in the first place in 1977, as the first in my family to ever pursue an MBA. My parents, Leroy and Thelma, thank God I know them, instilled an urgency and an obligation to do more with my education and serve people because I had to be accountable to them. For as much civic progress has been made, at this very moment, there are existential threats like access to clean water, access to voting rights, access to programs like Medicaid, access to full citizenship. Job markets have considerably tightened, particularly for people of color. And on top of rising costs for food and energy, the prospects for lasting peace around the globe seem dim, if not dark. So you too could be cynical or nervous or even a little apprehensive. But here's the thing. You are now equipped to do something about those challenges. So here come the customary old man to young person commencement speaker recommendations. Are you ready? First and foremost, thank the universe for being here. There are no coincidences, and you are here for a reason. Secondly, advocate for yourself and others. There's nothing wrong with you being selfish as opposed to selfish. I was a college radio DJ before coming to WashU. My handle was Big Brother in Progress, and I used my Barry White tone and R&B and jazz to bring people together, to communicate, to come out of my own shell, to build community, to persuade others to get together. I want you to do that. I want you to find a platform that allows you to express yourself with words, with music, with movement, with art, with visuals, to entice and encourage others to get up and do something. If nothing else, a great party might break out. Thirdly, embrace those who poured much into you. A couple of years after graduating from here in 1979, I met Dr. Howard Naylor Fitzhugh, who was called the Dean of Black Business. He was the first African-American to graduate from the Harvard School of Business in 1933. But because of racial prejudice, he couldn't go straight into corporate life, and so he taught for decades at the Howard University School of Business in Washington. He mentored me and thousands of others to do well by doing good, using our educations to fight for opportunities and never forget where we came from. I refer to him often because he, like Bob Virgil, sitting right here, left an indelible impression upon me to find a way to do well and do good at the same time. The fourth point is keep moving. Apply yourself based on your values. I recently joined the board of Beneficial State Bank based in Oakland, California, which is focused on ethical banking. We're striving to change the way that the underserved, the underbanked, and often the underappreciated can become bankable. As a certified B Corp and a community development financial institution, Beneficial State Bank wants to use finance as a force for good, creating positive impact for communities and the planet while doing no harm. So we have impact reports. If you get a chance to go to the Beneficial State Bank website, and you can see what we want to achieve. It would be phenomenal to have Gephardt Institute graduates involved in some way in Beneficial State Bank. I will say this, joining that board has given me a sweet way to meld my MBA in finance from WashU, my banking background, a desire to support diverse communities, and more importantly, to meet with others who share passions to do something really difficult, but necessary. I love it. Lastly, enjoy your life. There's a whole lot of things to worry about. The money you don't have, the person who left you yesterday, and the car that broke down, and all this other crap that's floating around. But the fact that you and I are breathing, that our hearts beating, that our minds are clear, at least I hope they might be clear. I don't know what y'all are going to do afterwards, so maybe clarity of mind is not top of the list. But that's an incredible blessing. I pray every morning the Jabez prayer from 1 Chronicles chapter 4, verse 9, the Old Testament. Jabez was more honorable than his brothers. His mother had named him Jabez, saying, I gave birth to him in pain. Jabez cried out to the God of Israel, oh, that you would bless me and enlarge my territory. Let your hand be with me and keep me from harm so that I will be free from pain. And at the end of that says, and God granted his request. So I hope that God will bless you. I hope that God will enlarge your territories. I hope that you will be kept free from pain, which means you'll be whole and healthy. But most of all, I hope that God will grant your requests. Thank you very much. God bless.
So the good news is we have this recorded, so you can listen to that again. Thank you so much, Lee. Let's give him one more round of applause. So we're now at the time in our program when our graduates will share their civic commitments and receive their commencement stoles. Each graduate has written a personal civic commitment that speaks to what civic engagement means to them and how they intend to act on this commitment throughout their life. We placed each civic commitment into into a frame that our graduates can keep on their desk or bookshelf as a keepsake and a reminder, a North Star as they proceed on their civic journey. And they'll also receive their stole to wear today and at other graduation ceremonies, which is embroidered with the WashU shield and the words Gephardt Institute Changemaker. So each stole will be presented by a Gephardt Institute staff member who has worked closely with the graduate. Here's how this is going to work. Graduates, we will ask you to line up over here. You're going to be coming row by row, and I think Alana will be telling you when. You'll bring your printed civic commitment with you, but you can leave everything else at your seat. Once you're at the podium, we'll ask you to share your name, the Gephardt program or programs that you participated in, and read your civic commitment. You'll then cross the stage, and you'll receive your stole from your program lead. And we will have photographs taken that we will get to all of the graduates after the ceremony. When you finish, you'll continue crossing to the other side and wait to be seated until Danielle here cues you, and your full row can take your seat together at one time. Parents and other guests, you're welcome to capture photos as well. I would caution that the graduates are not speaking in alphabetical order. They're speaking in seating order, so you'll need to watch closely to make sure you catch your graduate at the podium. And now I am pleased to introduce the class of 2026.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Najari, and I'm a civic fellow in the class of 2026. And my civic commitment statement is I'm committed to fostering unity across communities by working collaboratively to address shared challenges, especially in healthcare settings, by promoting mutual understanding and building solutions rooted in compassion and collective progress. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Magdiel Castillo. I served in the Student Advisory Council, and I commit to staying engaged in the civic issues that drove me here, fighting for a healthier, happier, and more equitable world where suffering is met with dignity and those most excluded help shape the systems meant to serve them. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Drew Ryard, and I have served the Gephardt Institute as a graduate student staff assistant. And my commitment is, I commit to serving St. Louis with everything I have, working to grow my community stronger through grassroots connection, creative expression, and resource sharing wherever possible, and to a lifetime of creative servant leadership to my city, my country, and my planet. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Aaliyah Wilcox, and I serve as the Engaged Democracy Fellow with the Gephardt Institute. Following my graduation, I intend to foster civic and community engagement in St. Louis by working as a mitigation specialist with the Missouri Public Defender, where I will investigate how systems impact the outcomes of those involved with the legal system and advocate for restorative outcomes for clients. I will also remain in collaboration with various organizations in the St. Louis community that aim to further the arts, creative expression, sustainable urban agriculture, and social justice here in our St. Louis community.
Hi, my name is Alexis Tapia Vasquez. I was a St. Louis Fellow and a member of the Wash Your Votes Executive Board. And following my graduation, I plan to remain civically engaged by volunteering and connecting with local organizations committed to, but not limited to, fighting for voting, immigration, and housing rights. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Ara Oni, and I was a civic fellow, and I am committed to living with faith, integrity, purpose, serving others with compassion while staying grounded in my values. I will continue engaging across differences, uplifting my community, and pursuing a life that creates lasting impact beyond myself.
Hi everyone, my name is Joana Zamora Miranda. I was a St. Louis Fellow, and my civic commitment is I commit to always refer back to the communities I work with to ensure the change I make promotes justice, compassion, and democracy.
Hi, my name is Brianna Anderson, and I was a part of the St. Louis Fellows Program. After graduation, I commit to building my career in the nonprofit sector, specifically focusing on fighting for environmental justice and public interest environmental law to make the world a more equitable and safe place for all.
Hi, I'm Naima Pyarli. I was part of the Student Advisory Council. I commit to staying engaged in civic issues that affect vulnerable and underserved communities by advocating for equitable healthcare policies and supporting initiatives that expand access to quality care. As a future physician scientist, I hope to bridge the gap between medical innovation and the communities who need it most.
Hi, my name is Louis Solomon. I was a part of the Civic Scholars Cohort 14. And in a world that increasingly looks to rip people apart, I commit myself to being someone who will do all he can to bring people together, because that's the base of which all communities are built on.
Hi, my name is Margot Ogroski. I was a civic fellow, and I commit to never stop advocating for open and honest conversations about mental health. Hi, everyone. My name is Cecile Figueroa. I'm a part of the Civic Scholars or Fellows, whichever you pick to choose to say. And this is my civic commitment. I commit to staying curious, engaged, and willing to act because my civic summer showed me the power of showing up and staying open-minded, even through countless obstacles, planned and unplanned. I will carry that forward to uplift others and drive positive change both in my professional world and personal day-to-day. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Hannah Pignataro, and I was a member of WashU Votes Exec and a civic fellow. While I plan to eventually pursue change on a broader systems level, my civic commitment is to stay grounded in work that directly impacts the smaller communities that I am a part of, making sure to infuse joy into everything that I do.
Hi, my name is Shelby Elliott. I was part of the Civic Fellows program, and after graduation, I commit myself to continue working to change my corner of the world with optimism and perseverance as I attend law school here at WashU and continue advocating for others to tell their stories in the domestic violence sphere. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Julian Roldan. I'm a civic fellow or civic scholar, and I'm committed to becoming a voice for those who have been and continue to be silenced. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Omar Abdelmoidi, and I was a civic fellow. And my civic commitment is to diligently work at the intersection of policy, research, and clinical care to advance equitable access to healthcare.
Hello, my name is Ash Withrow. I was a St. Louis fellow, and my civic commitment is I commit to continuing advocacy through encouraging community conversations about intersectional issues, particularly through connecting St. Louisians with rural Missourians.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ella Geary, and I was a civic fellow. And I draw strength from the quiet courage of the women in my family who taught me that resilience is grounded in love and commitment to others. As I move beyond graduation, I aim to carry that legacy forward by leading with empathy, embracing uncertainty, and using my work to support collective well-being.
Hello, my name is Ashton Lee. Shout out to Civic Fellows, the best cohort this year, cohort 14, yes, best cohort ever. But let me give my civic commitment. I commit to a life formed by the communities, histories, and care that were passed down to me long before I knew them. This declaration is my commitment to show up in the world, guided by a clear sense of purpose, to serve, to uplift, and to build institutions that reflect the God-given potential in every person. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
My name is Ella Scott. I was a St. Louis Fellow and a St. Louis Impact Fund grant recipient. My commitment, short and sweet, I commit to making St. Louis a place of opportunity and excitement for all St. Louisans, demonstrating its possibility, history, and future on a national scale.
Good evening. My name is Maggie Liu. I was a St. Louis Fellow, and I'm also a student staff member. I promise that wherever my path leads, I will hold fast to my belief in the goodness of people. I will carry empathy and joy at the center of all I do, and I will continue to always see the best in others.
Hello, y'all. My name is Jerry Liao. I was a St. Louis Fellow over the last summer. My commitment is that there will be many more environmental and social issues beyond that covered in just my career or schooling. And I will remain steadfast in committing my time and energy to understanding, volunteering in, and organizing with the communities I reside in and beyond for equity, justice, and a clean environment for all.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Lan. I was a St. Louis Fellow last summer. After graduation, I commit to honoring the dignity of every person as an image bearer of God, using my skills to serve the least of these in my community. I pledge to be a faithful steward of my education, seeking justice and walking humbly in all of my professional and civic endeavors.
My name is Daniel New. I was a St. Louis Fellow and a member of the Student Advisory Council. My civic commitment is, after graduation, I hope to stay engaged civically within my communities, engaging in my career, in voting, and supporting mutual aid. I commit to staying curious about the issues that shape our communities, listening to perspectives different from my own, and taking action in the communities I'm a part of. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Ethan Hong. I was a St. Louis Fellow, and I vow to take the lessons that I learned in my time as a St. Louis Fellow in civic service to continue my mission as a civic servant in all aspects of my life, including the broader world of my professional life and in the smaller one of my private one.
Hi everyone. My name is V. Nguyen. I was a member of the St. Louis Fellows Program and Civic Fellows Program. And for my civic commitment statement, I'm just starting off with a quick thank you. I would not be where I am today without family, friends, and mentors who choose to love and care, even when it might be more convenient not to. And I want to extend the same care for others, for self, and for the world we all share. As I prepare for life after graduation, I will pursue lifelong community engagement and health advocacy. And despite systems and policies that are not always designed for us, I will maintain my faith in the possibility of progress and change. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kathy Zhao. I was a part of the Civic Scholars Program. And after graduation, I am committed in remaining civically engaged by actively participating in my local community, approaching spaces with an open and learning mindset, and staying informed. Through this, I aim to better understand inequities driven by climate change and apply my mechanical engineering background to prioritize and support people's well-being. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Allie Lively and I was a St. Louis Fellow. After graduation, I am committed to advancing regional and local environmental justice here in St. Louis by pursuing a law degree at St. Louis University School of Law and building a long-term future in this community. Grounded in relationships and values I've developed through the WashU community and the Gephardt Institute, I will continue to strengthen and serve St. Louis through civic engagement and advocacy. Thank you.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Grace Witter, and I was part of the St. Louis Fellows Program. And as an aspiring physician, I'm committed to staying engaged in civic issues after graduation by combining research, community advocacy, and patient-centered care to address health disparities and improve public health outcomes. Through my experiences in reproductive health research, clinical care, and service with diverse communities, I've seen how medicine extends beyond the four walls of the hospital. And it requires continued involvement in the social and systemic issues that shape patient and human well-being. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ankita Vantella. I was part of the Civic Fellows Program. I commit to prioritizing the question of access by building and practicing care in ways that are culturally grounded. I will continue to enter every space with empathy and, driven by my passion for research and clinical work, will strive to bridge the gap between what we find in the field and the care that reaches people. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Elena Weirich, and I was involved in the St. Louis Fellows Program and in the St. Louis Impact Fund. I will try to foster a culture of civic engagement for the rest of my life, thanks to the education and the guidance that I received from the Gephardt Institute. They taught me the importance of showing up for my community, which I will absolutely try to do as best as I can in my future career and in my relationships.
Hi, parents. I'm Grace, and I am a civic fellow. I commit to never stop trying to make the world a better place, to always try to learn more, and to always ask with humility how I can help. After graduating, I'm especially excited to have a lot more time to volunteer frequently.
Hi, everyone. My name is Isabella Maya Jimenez. I was a St. Louis Fellow and a St. Louis Impact Fund grant recipient, and my civic commitment is to continue uplifting the immigrant and refugee community through pro bono legal work.
Hello, everyone. My name is Natalia Leon Diaz. I commit to dedicating my life to giving back to the communities that shaped me, as well as addressing the structures that perpetuate inequality through policy and advocacy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Blake Como. I was a Golden Fellow, now known as the St. Louis Fellows Program. As a graduate of WashU Law, I commit to working at legal aid organizations every year of my career.
Hi, my name is Spencer Noram Pofo. I was a St. Louis Fellow, and my civic commitment is to value local, African, and Indigenous knowledge and health.
Good evening. My name is Sophie Lynn, and I was the first WUPAN St. Louis Fellow. After graduation, I will be staying to live and work in St. Louis and commit to continuing to organize, volunteer, and canvass with the organizations doing meaningful work that I connected with during my time at WashU.
Hi, my name is Nicola Mara Santos. I was formerly Civic Scholar, now Civic Fellow. I also was a part of the St. Louis Impact Fund. So whether through in-law, diplomacy, or government, I commit to a lifetime career in public service. I want to ensure that my work remains accountable to the people whose dignity and safety depend on just policy. I hope to strengthen the legal and civic mechanisms that safeguard migrant communities, resisting the cycles of regression that have undone so much of the progress in the past. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Aniswa, and I was part of the St. Louis Fellows Program, and I am committed to becoming a dedicated advocate who upholds justice, amplifies unheard voices, and works tirelessly to create equitable and lasting change in society. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Rajula Polu, and I was part of the St. Louis Fellows Program. Over the next 4 years in medical school and beyond, I plan to stay committed to civic engagement through involving myself and continuing to involve myself in work that promotes health equity, social justice, and community building. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Vic Diaz. I was involved in the St. Louis Fellows Program and the Student Advisory Council. After graduation, I will be staying in St. Louis to attend the Brown School of Social Work. I plan to stay engaged through involvement in mental health advocacy.
Let's give another round of applause to all of our graduates. So graduates, we're nearing the conclusion of our program, and I want to leave you with 2 reminders. First, remember the African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. At its core, civic leadership is about people. It's about public leaders and the citizens who participate in our nation's bold experiment with self-governance. It's the people impacted by the decisions of leaders in every sector, the people in our communities who are experts in their own story and strive to be the authors of their future, the people you will dialogue with and collaborate with to affect the changes you seek to make in the world, and the people who support you, challenge you, expand your perspective, and inspire you. Go together. Tap this incredible network of change makers, those graduating with you tomorrow, those who have graduated from our Gephardt Institute programs over the last 20 years, and those who will come after you. And consider across all of your networks at WashU and beyond, not just who can help you achieve your civic goals, but also how you can support the civic journeys and goals of others. And the second reminder, make your civic values your anchor through the choppy waters of social change. We all have confidence that you have developed a solid set of civic skills and values that will center you, guide you, and equip you, even as you experience the inevitable frustrations and setbacks and headwinds that come with working through the complexities of social change and the acute tensions in our civic landscape. Anchor yourself in your civic values and the civic commitment that you shared from this podium, even as your life and your career evolve and through the changes and challenges of civic life that we can't anticipate today. And one final request, stay in touch with us. We are deeply invested in you, as we have been through your entire time with the Gephardt Institute. And that relationship does not stop at commencement. We love to hear from you. We love to follow you on social media too, and learn about how you are bringing healing and peace, justice, opportunity, and hope forward through your life and through your work. We have been honored to be part of your civic journey, and we offer gratitude and congratulations. So graduates, I invite you all now to come forward for your group photo. So as the graduates assemble, families, we have a wonderful photographer today, Gara, who will take wonderful pictures and they'll go to all the graduates. But after Gara finishes, we'll give you a chance to take photos as well. Are there folks willing to pop up? All right, so this concludes our program. Please stick around, enjoy food, drink, and plenty more photographs.